Today we're talking about Mother of Learning, written by Domagoj Kurmaić, also known as Nobody 103, probably his pen name. This novel has been around for more than a decade, and when I found it, my first reaction was honestly, how did I miss this? Because usually I discover everything through novel updates, my go-to place for web and light novels, and this one was never listed there. Later I learned why. It isn't translated. It's an original English web novel. At first glance it looks short, only 106 chapters, and I went in thinking, okay, 3 days max. Yeah, that didn't happen. These chapters are huge. In terms of reading time, this thing feels closer to 400, 500 normal web novel chapters. So don't be fooled by the chapter count. This is a long ride. So this is a time loop story, and if you've read enough of those, you know the biggest problem, repetition. Most looping stories eventually start feeling like you're watching the same episode again and again. This novel somehow avoids that. Yes, events repeat, but every loop brings new information, new decisions, and new consequences, so the story always feels like it's progressing. The beginning is a bit slow, though. The novel spends time introducing the main character, his family issues, school life, and the world before the loop even starts. If I hadn't seen the stellar reviews, I might have dropped it early. To be honest, it was a chore, reading near about 20,000 words, with no progress to story, but once the loop begins, the story really locks you in. The protagonist isn't some legendary prodigy either. He's just an average mage student, mediocre talent, not very social, some family problems, and suddenly he's stuck reliving the same month again and again. His early reactions feel realistic too. Denial, confusion, frustration, trying to figure out what's even happening, and he soon learns talking about it to other people can have serious consequences. From there, the entire story becomes about gradual growth, learning spells, finding mentors, building alliances, experimenting, failing, retrying. And the loop isn't some perfect cheat ability either. Mistakes matter, not like in other stories where the loop ends or you die and voila, restart. No. You can get permanent damage or worse, get erased. One thing I really liked is how the novel handles its characters. There's a big cast, but the author introduces them slowly, so you actually remember who people are. Their stories are slowly peeled away, and many characters who might seem minor early on may carry some hidden secrets too, which makes the story feel carefully planned. Even the antagonists aren't just evil for the sake of being evil. The story actually explains their motivations, and even if you don't agree with them, you understand. Watching the main character grow is also extremely satisfying. Instead of becoming overpowered overnight, he slowly becomes a jack-of-all-trades mage, learning from multiple mentors and picking up different skills. By the later parts of the story, you can almost see every teacher reflected in the way he fights and solves problems. Now one small issue. While well-written, the fights aren't always the most exciting part of the novel. They're good, but what really kept me hooked were the character interactions, the humor, the conversations, and the emotional moments that build across different loops. Another thing that might irk some readers is the information dump. They are important to the story but affect the immersion. On the other hand, that same depth is also what allows the story to build such solid progression and mystery over time. A lot of long web novels start strong and then stumble near the ending, but Mother of Learning actually becomes more exciting as it approaches the finale. Plot threads that were introduced very early on finally connect, mysteries get satisfying answers, and the ending feels earned instead of rushed. Like it flabbergasted me, and side note, there is no romance. Overall, I genuinely love this novel. It took a concept I've seen many times, the time loop, and executed it in a way that felt fresh, well-planned, and consistently engaging. Yes, the beginning is a bit slow, and the action scenes might not always be the highlight, although there are definitely some moments, but the character growth, the mystery, and the long-term storytelling more than make up for it. If you somehow missed this novel like I did for years, I definitely recommend giving it a try.